for the answers. Very aligned naman po yung answers ng ating dalawang speakers. No? So it really depends on the audience kasi sino yung kinakausap natin. Ang next question po natin is, have any of you, this is for both of our artists again, have any of you had any dialogues or conversations po with those who are part of groups that are anti-GMO? So ano po yung naging reaction nila to your side of the argument, and why do you think they remain averse to the use of GMO? Additionally, has there been any change of heart from their side after your life?
Yeah, I have been in contact with them, actually face to face a couple of times. There was a meeting before with the Yusik Serrano pa noon at the DA, and the antis were there. We were in a round table, and meron pa nga pa noon, congressman noon na nag-accompany sa mga antis, nagkaharap si Yusek Serrano. Tapos ako lang, usually ako lang mag-isa. So, ayun, so nagkaroon ng mga discussion, pero ang maganda nun, very civil naman, hindi naman kami nagtataasan ng boses. Oo. At na-conclude naman ng maayos. And then, meron din public hearings noon. So, part and parcel kasi siya nung pag-approve noong field trial na nabanggit ni Sir Raymond kanina. Kailangan makakuha kami noong a letter of support from the LGU. So, bago mangyari yun, magkakaroon na ng public hearing. So, in attendance lahat, yung mga pro at saka yung mga anti doon. So, lagi kami nagbibigay ng mga sarili naming mga points kung bakit. At sila naman, bakit hindi na ma-approve yun. So, then after nun, kumain pa rin naman kami ng sabay-sabay, civil pa rin. So wala namang nagpapatuhan, wala namang sa trash talk, ganun, wala namang ganun. Civil pa rin naman tayo. Yun ang maganda naman sa mga Pilipino na nakita ko. Tapos, noon pa ulit, noong September na yun, nakwento ko sa inyo, pumunta ako doon sa Negros. Ako lang mag-isang technical person na nakausap nila. Sila ang dami nila na nadatnan ko doon. Sabi ko mag-isa lang po ako. At first time ko po dito sa Negros, sa Occidental. Sabi ko masaya po ako napunta rito. So kahit pa paano, hindi, masaya pa rin naman. Hindi naman ako na dumog, ganyan. O, walang ganon. Ako na-experience so far. Kahit sila sabihin natin anti sila, hindi naman sila nananakit. Hindi naman sila, even yung words nila, hindi naman ganon na masakit. Tapos, meron lang talagang sariling trabaho ang bawat isa. Ang trabaho ko ay mag-represent ng Crop Biotech Center at makatulong in disseminating information about biotech. Ang trabaho naman nila, alam nyo na. So, ganun lang talaga. And kung nag-change ba yung opinion nila, wala naman akong naramdaman na ganun. So, ganun lang talaga. Talagang,
Walang na-enlighten.
oo, talagang wala. Doon pa rin sila eh. Oo. Napipil pa rin yung presence nila at saka yung ideology nila.
As per my experience, since college, of course, well, I'm from UP Los Baños, and alam niyo kung gano'ng ka-polarizing ang usapin ng modern biotechnology and biotechnology. Imagine even our professor sa college would say na biotech is bad. How would you feel na enroll kayo sa isang klase na sabihin that? So of course, maraming experience. But doon na lang tayo focus sa professional. I've been part of 2 public consultations/dialogues
Maduguyan.
on Golden Rice. So, this is the multi-stakeholders consultation on Golden Rice, organized by the National Anti-Poverty Commission, sponsored by Stop Golden Rice Network. Imagine, multi-stakeholder forum on Golden Rice sponsored by Stop Golden Rice Network. Ano output?
Stop talaga.
Nabago ko ba sila? No! Of course not. So, it's an impossible task, really. But again, we attended as representatives ng Bureau of Plant Industry. And we were fed to the tigers, lions, the whole savannah, as you might say. For the whole 2-3 hours, we were being chewed. All the rhetorics na narinig nyo, narinig namin.
Parang ginisa kayo talaga
Yeah.
sa ano.
Nag-isa kami ng Pilipino, nag-isa kami ng India, nag-isa kami ng Australiano. Imagine, ano siya, United Nations ang atake ng consultation na to. And kami, mga taga-BPI lang na Sabi ng director namin, umattend kami and represent. But one thing na pinanghawakan namin noon, we're confident with the system. It's not about us defending the technology, una, hindi namin trabaho as regulators, but we would stand on the decisions that we made based on the risk assessment. Kahit sabihin nyo na ang daming negative ganito, well, we stand with the decision, we stand with the process that we have built on 20 that back then. Almost 30 years of experience of regulating modern biotechnology. So, ang usapan doon, bakit pa kasi kailangan? Ang golden rice na yan. Nawawala ang mga heirloom varieties and everything. Lahat na issues, iba ba to? Sasabihin nila hindi kailangan ng golden rice. So, okay. But again, kung gusto nyo gamitin ng golden rice, it has undergone the robust risk assessment that we have. We have, back then, hindi pa issued yung permit. But ensure namin, pag lumabas ang biosafety permit yan, any decision that has undergone the robust risk assessment, isa sa pinaka-scrutinized na event ang golden rice. Kasi, alam natin, rice is not just an economic crop. It's a political crop. It's a political crop, sabi nga ni isa naming scientist. So, hindi mo mababago, ang mindset namin is hindi mo mababago ang mindset ng mga taong to stop Golden Rice Network nga sila Grabe namang work of God kapag nabago ko yung nila mindset, di ba? But ang pinanindigan namin doon, we stand on the robustness of the system. We stood on the integrity of the system. Gusto namin in-emphasize doon, hindi kami bayaran. I think that's very important kasi it has been thrown a lot na bayaran ng regulators, na sponsored kami ni ganito, ni ganyan. Pero sa totoo lang, patingin niyo ba may budget pang Philrace to do that? Wala kasi ang hirap nga ng kanila to upkeep lang ng kanilang operations.
Abunado nga si...
Abunado pa si Doc Ray dyan. Tapos sasabihin niyo, binayaran pa kami ng mga
Tsaka
agencies.
si Tony.
So yan, it's a fun experience. We welcome it. We don't shy away from it kasi we're confident with what we have. The system, the 30 years of experience, and the international recognition that we have.
From my end naman, I'm confident with the science. In fact, yung golden rice na kinain na rin namin Tapos marami na rin nakakain all over the
Sana bigyan
Philippines.
niyo ako.
Diba? Tapos safe naman. Kasi alam namin kung ano yung substance. It's just beta-carotene na kinakain natin na galing na rin sa
Pampalinaw ng
ibang mga
mata.
gulay. Diba? At matagal nang kinakain. So it's a common and safe substance.
Sir, dito to eduk ngayon. Siyempre, sa agriculture side naman kasi doon ako lumaki. So yung golden rice po ba, parang meron kasing time na in Isabela, I'm from Isabela, mas malaki yung ani nung Kalinga part in terms of rice because of weather, yung cold or hot weather. So parang meron bang epekto yun sa golden rice? Makaka-style ba siya doon sa ganun?
Yung golden rice kasi ang background niya ay RC82 na variety which is adapted to all over the Philippines siya. So kung ano yung performance niya, hindi naman nagkakalayo dapat. So I just don't know exactly yung case po noong sinasabi niyo. Anong variety po ba yung tinanim doon? Baka naman yung variety na yun ay talagang adapted doon sa cold area o upland siya.
I would, parang yung sa may long pin din yun yung variety na pare-parehas yung tinanim pero mas malaki nila na yung ani in terms of tonelada na po yung sa may ibang regions kumpara dun sa province po namin. And then, ang problema palagi sa amin is yung pest. Yung, I don't know how do you call that pest na parang uubusin niya yung plant. Yung sa gitna, yung for example, malapit siya mamunga, or nakakamulaklak na siya. Parang then later on, sa gitna, merong mga, we call it talakitic, na yung black, na pest, na unti-unti niyang pababagsakin yung plant. until such time, wala nang maaani kasi hindi na na-sustain yung rice. Usually, yun palagi yung sa amin na problema. Kasi nga, ewan ko kung sa amin lang, kasi nga, may mango plantation, tapos merong rice. So parang, yung pest nung mangoes ay, naubos ba yun yung na-explain ko sa kanila, pero I don't know kung tama yung
Baka maganda
pagkaka-explain.
sir, ipatingin din natin sa expert talaga yung sa pathology, sa plant pathology, para maging official yung documentation siguro. Or kung pwede kayo magbigay ng sample, sa Kalinga po ba yun? Anong lugar yun?
Isabela.
Isabela, meron po tayong field rice Isabela.
Opo,
San Mateo, Isabela.
yeah, nakapunta na rin po ako doon.
Mas maganda pong ipatingin nyo sa ating expert po doon.
Yes po. Nakapunta rin po ako doon, sir. Yun nga po, parang may students before, gusto nilang magkaroon ng research study on sa rice o sa pero ang tagal kasi timeline. So parang binitawan namin yon na research study kasi hindi kakayanin ng timeline ng kanilang research plan na semester lang po kasi sa kanila. Yun lang po. Pero yun po yung una namin problema na isosolve dapat noon. Yung pest na yun. So, ganun. Or, doon po ba sa golden rice, yun lang ba yung yung ba lang beta-carotene lang ba yung kanyang feature? Or wala ba siyang pest na?
Yun lang po talaga, yung
Ay.
beta-carotene nutrition trait.
Yun lang
Kaya ko
yun.
parang baby corn na pati na rin
Hindi.
yung insecticide rin.
Oo.
Pampalinaw lang talaga na.
Sige po. Thank you po.
Sir, may next question din po tayo. I think very, very relevant, especially sa ating mga regional field offices. If farmers are willing po to plant the GM crops, saan po nila bibili yung mga seeds or yung planting materials nila? And pwede daw po bang i-promote? I think itong part na to ay DA din yung makakasagot. Pwede ba i-promote na pinaprovide ito ng DA for free? Ganun. So basically, sir, saan po natin makukuha?
Basically ngayon, ang meron lang po talagang GM option ay corn lang. Kasi yung golden rice, under moratorium siya, hindi kita din. Corn lang pa lang talaga. Oo. Kung sana okay na yung golden rice eh.
Oh.
Sorry, no question.
Actually, meron din tayong BT cotton na approve pa naman na hindi pa siya under moratorium. Pero kailangan lang sigurong mag-lobby doon sa leader noong
Doon sa
PhilPAIDA.
LGU.
Ng PhilPAIDA po siguro.
Ah,
Or, magsulat yung LGU. Gusto namin magtanim ng cotton para magkaroon ng voice din ng ating mga farmers.
oo nga.
Hmm. Kasi sayang yung may sabihan si Ma'am Rochelle. Pero sayang yung BT cotton kung okay naman siyang itanim pero ayaw namang itanim noong agency.
Sayang
Si
naman.
Sir Paul siguro ano lang sabi niya doon.
Sir Ciro Salapitan po from Sierra. Sir Ray. Opo. So, regarding dun sa may status ng po dun sa may Malusog Rice, tanong ko lang po kung kamusta na po ba? May update po ba tayo regarding that? At saka, yun lang muna siguro, yun na yung sa may
Yung sa malusog po yung desisyon ay wala pa rin po
Wala pa.
hanggang ngayon. So we're still waiting. Parang more than a year na po na delayed yung pong decision. So hinintay pa rin po natin.
Tapos sir, siguro either kay Sir Ray o kaya kay Sir Raymond. Sir, may tanong lang akong ano. Sabi ng mga ligaan anti-GM, local GMO bans are necessary because biosafety remains unresolved. So despite the fact that we provided them science-based at saka evidence-based ng mga information with regard dun sa may biosafety, kasi tinitigan natin yung food, feed, at saka environmental safety at the same time, sa JDC, meron siyang 5 na regulating agencies that looking into that. Paano natin maaano sa kanila? Ay, hindi dapat natin tanggalin itong ganitong klaseng restriction. Kasi gawa ng hindi naman hanggang ngayon ang biosafety ay unresolved pa rin. And we know for the fact that as of now, meron pa rin mga dalawang GM na approved na siya for commercialization. But still, there is this law about you a precautionary principle na tinitignan, ibinabato siya just to hindi pa rin matuloy para magamit ito ng farmers. So how are we going to address this kind of issue?
Actually, if, again, sige.
For our online participants. Thank you po.
Kung usapin ba ng hindi unresolved yung biosafety, I would say otherwise. The fact na na-issuehan ng biosafety permit, itong dalawang GM crops na to, na under legal scrutiny, that's kumbaga yun yung strongest na statement from the government to say that it has undergone all the biosafety requirements that it should have undergone. And bakit may restriction? Hindi kasi siya biosafety. Personally, it's not a biosafety issue for me. It's a legal issue. It's a procedural issue. And fortunately/unfortunately for us, may avenue talaga sila. Parang anyone can avail writ of kalikasan. And they used it. It's everyone's right to use it. Siguro ang challenge for us is to, yung lagi na sinasabi, we should green the judiciary. Like, we have to appreciate the efforts of the different sectors. I would highlight ISA's initiatives to actually have foster common and better understanding between the law and the science. Akala natin nagkakaintindihan na, pero ang laki ng gap. I think the issuance of writ of kalikasan dito sa dalawang GM crops is the loudest voice or the loudest manifestation na malaki yung gap between the legal and the science. And good thing, nakita pa natin ngayon. So, yes, it's a challenge, pero maging positive tayo ng konti. It's an opportunity for us. So, kung malalagpasan natin to, kung magiging successful yung efforts natin to green the judiciary, ginigreen na natin ng Congress, I think executive branch were good kasi 5 agencies supports modern biotech. No, 8 agencies kasi yung NCBP, di ba? 7 or 8 ba kami? Sorry. So, imagine ko yung 3 branches ng government, magi-green natin. Kung ma-share natin sa kanila yung science-based decision-making and evidence-based information, baka yun yung kailangan natin eh. It's easier said than done, pero yun naman yung ginagawa natin. As part of the NCBP office, I'm thankful for the non-government actors for actively engaging in this usapin. Ay sa CERCA, yung pagpunta nyo sa mga uncharted places. Imagine, 10 years ago, hindi ko sasabihin or hindi ko mawari na may pupunta mga nag-advocate for GM regulations or i-allow or i-overturn ang anti-GMO stance ng Negros. 10 years ago, hindi ko akalain. But, Doc Ray, nakapunta na. Buhay pa naman, nandito pa. So, I think we're taking, hindi na baby steps like adult steps. So, ang next natin, leap. And I look forward now, together as one community, we will take the leap. Na kung saan, mas kasama na natin ang judiciary at legislative sa ating advocacy for the safe and responsible use of modern biotech kasi regulator ako.
Tapos I just want to clarify na yung sa writ of kalikasan na case na ngayon ay only concerning golden rice at saka BT talong. BT talong. So anything na outside of that, like yung hyzer, for example, hindi siya covered. So pwede pa rin siyang itanim dapat. Oo. So malinaw yon na yung golden rice at saka BT talong lang yung covered. Basta meron ka namang commercial propagation permit, kagaya nung BT cotton na tinatanong mo kay Sir Paul kung anong gagawin.
And speaking of BT cotton po, may update po dyan si Dr.
For information po ng lahat, in principle, it does not affect kasi yung food. So it was allowed. Unfortunately, meron pong mga groups that do not want to plant it. So, if we want the industry to grow, we should allow that to be used para maibalik natin yung industriya ng ng pagtetela o
O textile.
ng textile, lalong-lalo na doon sa mga kababayan natin,
Oo.
taga Region 1, kasi doon, taga Region 2.
Ah.
So, it's an opportunity na sana hindi lost, pero we are still hopeful na i-adapt ng management.
Ay, sir, add ko lang. Add ko lang sa sinabi ni Director Paul, dahil may biosafety permit, again, ulitin ko, that's the loudest stamp of approval from the government agencies that it has undergone robust risk assessment, safety assessment. So, adoption, it's another thing. Like passion and regulations, so yung sa adoption, yun yung kailangan natin i-work.